Welcome, gentlemen. It's midweek checkup. It's a Thursday, and we're going to get straight into it. And we're going to go down our list because we haven't done our list for a minute. And basically, we're starting off, guys, getting 7, 6, 8 hours of sleep, maybe closer to 8, because I was reading a little study yesterday. And basically, to summarize it, if you guys are in a deficit, and if you're getting around 5 hours, 5.5 hours of sleep, basically you're losing about half the benefits of the cut, because the study showed that people who had lot less sleep, 5.5 hours, they lost 55% less fat during the recovery sleep, and they lost 55 or 60% more lean mass. So you're going in the direction, both directions, in the wrong way. So just to keep that in mind, and I think that reinforced my sleeping schedule, where it's like, hey man, you're putting in all the work, you're having 500-600 calorie deficit, which is steep, right? Which is on more of an aggressive cut when you're closer to the low teens body fat. So make the most out of it by going to sleep on time. And when you really think about it, is it worth really scrolling on your phone for that extra 30 to, for some people, 2 hours, and skipping out on sleep that can basically set you up for success the next day? And also, it will affect your body. It's like, imagine if you're on a 500 calorie cut, but you're only going to see 200 of it because you have poor sleep. So reinforcement and a reminder that sleep is very important. And damn, today's traffic is looking pretty bad. I don't know what it is lately, but hopefully we find a parking spot in the parking lot. Anyways, the next one is drinking water throughout the day. Make sure you're hydrated. Hydrated muscles will help you move a lot more weight in the gym. So remind yourself to do what you need to do when it comes to that, guys. And then we're going to skip down to, are you reflecting on your day and your night? Are you seeing areas where you can improve, and any W's to celebrate? Always celebrate any victories. Anytime you implement a new routine or you start doing something new, reinforce it with speaking positively to yourself. It will go a long way. Um, and don't and also look for ways to make your mistakes and your setbacks, always spin it in a positive direction, because with everything, guys, it's a growth mindset is a mindset that looks at something that majority of people can look at and see the negative, but they see the positive. They see how this could be, right, the push in the right direction, or the lessons or the knowledge that was necessary for them to get to the next stepping stone. So mine was like, I did this after a long time. I actually like went off the food plan diet, and it was for a 3-day binge, not a binge, but 3 days I started eating a lot more processed food. And I felt bad about it, but that's the key, realizing that when you do something you're not supposed to be doing and you feel bad about it, that feeling in itself is an indication to you that, hey, you're no longer this type of person. You're no longer the type of person that participates in this kind of activity. So skip out on the judgment and condemnation, right? Because when you judge and condemn, you identify yourself with the undesirable action. But when you take a step back and show yourself some forgiveness and mercy, you're able to separate yourself from the activity, and you're able to see that, hey, this was an unwise decision. Why is it unwise? Because it doesn't allow me to reach my goals. And that's all about righteousness. Righteousness is about staying on the track, staying on the path, right? So the sinful action, which was the thing that's not part of my identity, because it's missing the mark, right? Missing the mark is not who I am. To do things that you are not is to sin. So for you to do it and then for you to feel bad is a sign that, hey, what you're doing is not aligned with who you truly are. And that's how we identify things, right, in our life. Like, hey, I shouldn't be doing that, shouldn't be doing this. And that leads me to actually having a target. When a person does not have a target in their life, a vision, goals, you'll realize that they have no standards. They'll lack standards. They may have standards, but they'll lack standards, and they will begin to prioritize comfort. When you don't have goals, the standard becomes, I need to basically protect my comfort at all costs. And this costs them their life. This costs them a life that they are going to live with a resentment, bitterness, because they're going to drift by life and they're not going to achieve anything. And they're going to look at other people achieving, particularly through media. You're going to see other people achieving all these beautiful things, right? Which also you have to put, lens of reality on, because a lot of it is overemphasized. It's all, it's the highlight reel. And the whole point of it being on media is to grab people's attention, where it's like it's the spectacular of the spectacular. So it does skew, the mundane average life for the majority of people. And this is something I've been practicing on intentionally, is really going throughout the day and saying, how successful was the actual day? At the very basic level. I think we all have this. It's not a fear of missing out, but it's the fear of not living up to, this highlight reel, and realize just having a more objective and grounded perception on it, where it's, hey, those are, the 10% of days. Not even 10, maybe even 5. Honestly, looking at 5%, 3% of days, right? But looking at it at a daily basis is like, hey, did I wake up? Yes. Do I have food? Yes. Is the food good? Yes. Do I have a refrigerator that works and it's cold and it keeps my food edible longer? Yes. Did I wake up in a nice apartment? Yes. Do I have a car? Yes. Do I have a job that I can drive to? Yes. Am I able to buy groceries? Yes. Does the grocery store have food for me to buy? Yes. Right. Did you go to the gym? Did you exercise? Did you do your prayers? Did you read? Did you do something that will push you towards you achieving your goals? Yes. And that sounds like a fantastic day. That sounds like an amazing day. And this is where we need to begin to see, hey, that's a victory. You did what you needed to do. You did it within your capacity. You challenged yourself. You got to eat. You didn't go to bed hungry, unless you're potentially going to sleep a little bit hungry to lose some fat. Hopefully you're losing fat if you're doing it right, not just losing weight. But when you look at it at that level, or from that mindset, you're like, damn, I had a really good day, right? You didn't, make 100 grand or get 1,000 followers in just a snap of a fingers. But what you can really say, at the basis of human existence, you had an awesome day. You got to sleep, eat, nothing terrible happened. Your body's still whole and undamaged. That's an amazing day. Thank the Lord. So that's more of me trying to see that, hey, you did achieve, you did live a pretty beautiful day. That average day is a beautiful day. And just being cultivating more of a gratitude and groundedness in that. And something about goals, guys, is in vision, particularly not having a vision. I noticed that people who don't have that always say, I don't have time to work on what I want to work on. They're always dealing with something. And then when you look at a person who has achieved a lot, right, they intentionally don't deal with certain things. Is because your goals and your visions, when you really start giving them priority, when you actually start valuing them for what they really are to you, you begin to see life a lot different. You begin to see that people live a life of distraction, a life of escapism. And you realize that me working in your own personal world, like you working on your own personal world, you cultivating your talents and your gifts, which will cause you to say no. It will cause you to step away from certain social groups, social experiences, doing what everybody else is doing, is because you're going to actually get busy, because you realize that you can't just sit around and think that your dreams and your vision is just going to come true without you putting in the work. It's going to require effort, it's going to require energy, it's going to require time. And when you realize these are the three factors that are necessary for you to actually achieve them, you're going to have to pull all three of these variables out of somewhere in your life. Will you begin to participate in your life, and that just minimizes your mental expenditure with the external environment, where you really start going within and expressing that which is within into the environment, where it's no longer in the environment's having, consuming your mind. It's you using your mind to create. And that is a totally big shift, and you will realize that you become like a different breed of a human, because this is on a spiritual level. Because we all have our bodies, we have our limbs, we look all alike. But when you go within, you realize that there's mindsets, and the mindset is very important. When you realize what a growth mindset can do for a human, is when a person realizes that, that's one of the first things that they say. Hey, in the dating scene, is like, because they realize the power of growth mindset, they go, I need my partner to have the same mindset, because they understand what it can do for themselves and for the future. So adopt a growth mindset, adopt goals, write them down, right? And do and create a plan. Without a plan, you're not built to withstand. Everything's just gonna undermine you. Everything's gonna throw you off. You're gonna be caught up in distractions, and you're gonna be caught up in situations you shouldn't be in, and it's just gonna burn more of your time. And this is why structure becomes ever increasingly important, because it is through structure and discipline that you actually designate your energy to your craft. It is only by having discipline and structure and routine system in your life that allows you to actually put work into your goals. Because if you don't set that up, no one else will. And if you see how the world has been set up, it's built to steal your time. It's built to steal your energy. It's built to steal your focus. And those are all the things you need for you to live a fulfilling life, guys. So yes, be that a-hole that says, I'm busy doing what I need to be doing. And that's okay. It's okay to be an a-hole when it comes to you living out your uh divine call, living out your passion. So we're going to end it there, guys. Have a vision, because your vision, your goals, and when you really establish yourself in them, realizing this is the thing that will bring me fulfillment and allow me to fulfill, the law of God, which is be fruitful and multiply, which are spiritual things, right? Cultivate your talents, bring them up, let your light shine, affect, the world in a positive direction. That takes energy. That takes blocking yourself off from the world, connecting to the heaven that exists inside of you, and you being the temple of God and expressing heaven into earth through you, because you're the kingdom of God. That takes focus. That takes prayer and meditation. That takes saying no to a lot of the things that majority say yes to. And you feel ostracized. But don't feel ostracized, is because you're aligned. And when you actually feel it, when you feel aligned, you stop seeking attention, validation, acceptance, because you became the acceptance of yourself. So that's regaining your power of the I am God within yourself, allowing you to move independent. Move independent of the world, because the world has died to you, and the world and you have died to the world. Now you're awakened to heaven, and heaven is alive to you, and you begin to see the synchronicities, or all things shall be added on to you when you seek the kingdom of God first, which is to abide in the truth, abide in love, and express love, and you'll realize that God has been with you and in you all the time. And that's the revelation of Christ in you, is that God has never left you, God is inside of you, and you are loved. That is the gospel. That is plain and simple as that. So to end it, guys, do what you got to do. Take care of business, carry your cross with pride, and be intentional, take action, and pray for your daily bread. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys soon. Take care.